Hello, YouTube. How's it going today? How was your Wednesday? I hope everyone's having a fantastic week. Today I was home sick. I'm feeling a little bit better now, but I was like, you know what? I can try to do this stream. If I'm struggling to get through it, we can just make it shorter video and then we can finish it another time. So I see Gary's here. Hey, Gary, how's it going? We are going to do a Amway video today. I'm really excited for it. It is from something called the Family. I'll just show you. I'll show you. Family Reunion Business Conference in Niagara Falls, New York. And it was from 1995. Looks real culty, looks real interesting. Anyone watching this on the replay, what is this family reunion stuff? Is it like the person who's at the very top of the upline? Because it says there's like Howard family reunion, whatever family reunion. So does that just mean like the person at the top of the upline is inviting everyone from their downline to the event and it's just like a big downline Amway tool scam conference? Love to know. So let me know in the replay if you happen to know. This is from 1995, so the audio is not very good. It is behind, so it's not synced up. And there is quite a bit of like, I think, copyrighted music. So I'll either like mute that or I will just skip over it. Hey, Monica, how's it going? We're looking at an old Amway video. I'm really excited for this. Okay, I'm ready to go. There's a better world as long as we dream. So we know at Amway events, there's always such a focus on dreaming as big as you possibly can. You want to try to replicate the fantastic success of your upline. You want to be around people who are already bought into the vision and who are ready to submit to the upline and to Amway and to the system and so on and so forth. Oh, Gary, I'm just thinking of the time when I did my Tony Robbins stream and I let it play for like a minute and a half and then I got, what do you call it? It got blocked for copyright. Got blocked for copyright. And there was like a minute and a half that I let it play for, and then I couldn't get my video back up. So I might just mute it, just so we're extra safe, because I don't want this video to get blocked. But you're probably right. I probably don't need to worry. Hi, Lori. I'm also a little bit under the weather too. I'm sorry you don't feel good. So this may be a short stream if I can't get through the whole video. I'm glad you're here, and make sure you go take some rest if you need to. I see some more friends. Hello, MLM is fraud. Hello. Hello, page actress. So this is like family reunion business conference, and I was wondering if the two of you know what family reunion is. Is it just kind of like a big upline conference? Like, would there be a Jaeger family reunion, a Brit family reunion? If you know, I would love to learn about that. I'm glad you're both here. It's awesome to see you both. Hi, Lisa. How's it going? Yes, it was a Tony thingy for sure. What year you said this was? It's giving me 80s vibes. 1995. 1995.
The lifestyle we have.
Okay, Niagara Falls is fun. If anyone's ever been there, it's fun. It's cool. You don't need to be an Amway at a family reunion business conference in order to go to Niagara Falls. If you live nearby, it's not that expensive to go to. It's not some fancy far off place when all the hotels are $1 million a night. Like, your average person could go to Niagara Falls. You don't need to go to Amway to see pretty waterfalls. I've never heard of the family reunion before. I love the way this was made in 1995, but nothing has changed from then to today. Yes? Totally. It's all exactly the same. Same stuff we've heard all of these Amway friends talk about multiple times. Okay.
It'd be so empty if it wasn't for the relationships and all that went into getting where we are today.
I want to challenge you tonight to give this business your best and give it your best every day of your life. Your life will change and blossom into something you won't believe.
You that gave the most, paid the most, traveled the furthest, and are the most tired right now are going to receive the most.
So if you join Amway, you can be at a nice event with lots of smiling friends. You can wear beautiful dresses and have nice hair and wear a nice suit. And you're going to hear people talk about how you're going to gain so much from this business, while in reality you're going to lose in this business. You're going to lose money, you're going to lose time with your family and your friends and your children. You're going to lose time just being a person and figuring out what you like. And especially those who joined, a lot of the people we cover joined in their 20s. When you're in your 20s, you're just trying to figure out who you are. It's a time for like experimenting with your hobbies, trying to figure out like who you are as a person. And if you're in your 20s, late teens in Amway, you don't really have the privilege to figure out who you are as a person because your entire life is taken up by this company. I'm really not pleased with my camera angle. So when I press play, I'm going to turn my camera off and then fix it again. I'm not loving this. My mom and dad called the summer conference family reunion, if I remember correctly. It was a BWW conference. I don't know if any other AMO leaders call their conferences family reunion. Interesting. Get the fuck out with that music. Was it a BWW conference? Okay, so it was the summer family reunion, but it was a BWW conference. So was the summer person like part of the Brit downline? There's lots of cringe music with Amway. Just look up the goats. They made music for the Amway business. Ooh, maybe we should look that up later. Interesting.
We can show you that the dream is real, the dream works.
I finally got it. I don't like it when a lot of my mic is showing. I don't know why. I don't like that. I like my mic kind of out of view. It was bothering me, and I'm glad I fixed it. He's going to show us that the business works, that we can follow our dreams. This looks fun. This looks exciting, right? There's lots of people clapping. The men look really handsome. The women are in lovely dresses. I wonder, this was 1995, where it was normal for women to wear pants. Could women at this time wear pants? Could women go to this and not wear makeup? Because this is not the 60s. Women dressed in all different kinds of ways in 1995, I'm sure. And so far, we've only seen women represented in one way here. Oh my God, can't imagine. Yeah, BWW, Brit Worldwide. That's Bill Britt's tool scam company, for sure. Yes. So I'm not positive which family reunion this is, because it's not. I think we see somewhere it's Howard family reunion, but I don't know if we've covered a Howard on my channel. If you're interested, this is the channel I got it from. That's where I got with Casey something. It was a recent Amway video. That's where I got that video. There's lots of older Amway tapes and speeches. Not lots, a few on this channel. It's a good channel.
Determined you're not going to let anything get in your way.
Be determined you're not going to let anything get in your way. Do you mean a pyramid scheme? Do you mean a system that is made for us to stay at the bottom of the pyramid? Do you mean incredibly expensive products that no one wants to buy? Do you mean people knowing that Amway is a scam so they refuse to purchase or join you? Do you mean your spouse or your best friend being worried about you, that you're losing money and you're being mistreated and bullied in the Amway business? Those are very good things to let get in your way because that is your gut instinct telling you you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. It was a conference that took place in the summer. Oh, okay. I understand. It was called Summer Conference. There was also Spring Leadership Dream Weekend. Yep. And another one. My parents went to 4 weekend conferences a year. And like, you have to pay to get into those conferences. And then depending on where they are, they could be on the other side of the country. And then you have to pay to get there and probably pay for food. It's probably incredibly expensive to go to these Amway conferences. A business trip that avoids talking business. Yeah, right? Interesting. You think we would be talking about how to be a good salesperson, how to actually build our downline and maintain our ranks. No, we don't do that because that's not actual business advice. Oh, I understood what you mean, Monica. And you're right. In all of these Amway videos we watched, there is very little business talk, except I think it was the most recent Amway video we did. He actually tried to tell us some business building tips, although it was all based on numbers and it was incredibly confusing. I tried my best to stay on top of the numbers, but it was hard.
The only way you'll go diamond is falling in love with that board.
The only way you can go diamond is falling in love with that board. If you remember, I think the video I did with Val and Gus at the Clowntown, I think it was like back in June, we did what was it? 953 BIB. And the BIB stood for board and bedroom. So he's saying all you have to do is just plan out your downline on the board, write your circles, show the plan, and then people will automatically want to join you, and then you'll just magically get to diamond. Can you imagine if you were someone who doesn't have a lot of friends, who doesn't have a lot of genuine human interaction, if you were to see this kind of video at like a recruitment session or at your church or something at the time, this would be really appealing because everyone looks happy. Everyone looks excited to be there. But my question is, how many of these people are actually making real money? And how many of these people are put themselves into significant debt just to get to this conference, just because they were promised if they listened to the motivational mumbo jumbo, they would magically become diamond. The one I went to, everyone on stage was in evening wear, and it was a lot of culty hero worship. You pay for entry, your hotel, travel, food, etc. It costs them a few hundred every time. They usually spend 4 figures a year on conferences alone. Oh, fall in love with our cult. Exactly. If you don't say this is Amway, it would be, I would have been confused I would have confused this video with a church evangelical service. That's a hard word to say. Those exaggerate TV at church services, so culty, for sure. I agree. It's not obvious that it's Amway. It's not.
Always follow your dream because people are going to follow those who follow their dreams.
The key to your success in life is in the questions you ask.
Always follow your dreams because people will follow those who... I'm turning this down because I don't want to be controlling my volume all the time. It's way too loud. The key to success is in the questions you ask. Is that what he just said? So what does that mean? But we're told to never ask questions of our uplines. We're told to take what they say and then just like take it at face value and not question it and just follow the system. So the key to success in Amway would be blindly following authority and never questioning it. Was he possessed? Maybe. There was probably a church service given by one of the leaders that Sunday. I'm on the phone. Sorry for the misspell. I'm also not feeling the greatest too. Sorry. That's so wrong on so many levels. Exactly. Like church and MLM should not be mixed. Work and church shouldn't be mixed unless you are like working for the Catholic school board or you're with a not a conference, a nonprofit that is like Christian based, right? And has like church services for its customers. I think in that case it's fine if it's a religious based organization, but if it's not, I don't think religion has any place in the non-religious workplace. I feel something was really off with that guy. Thanks for putting it into words.
There's no one closer than Dottie and I. There's no one works a better team than Dottie and I. And I'll go up against anyone with our marriage today. It's all on account of the system.
What did he just say? Like, no one works better than Dottie and I. We have a good marriage. That's great that you have a good marriage. I'm happy for you. But in Amway, we're going to hear about this in a little bit. The husband and wife, primarily husband and wife, they work as a team. It's the husband at the forefront of the business who is a distributor speaking at the conferences, and then the wife is the support person who kind of does their like admin work, you could say, or helps them set up with for their meetings and helps them get dressed for the big events. And it's all thanks to the system for sure. It's so silly. And like, did you guys notice there was women saying they're looking at diamonds? Like, when you go to these conferences, are you given diamonds or do you have to pay? Or is it just to look at it and say, wow, if I stay in Amway for long enough, I too can actually afford this diamond in real life? Monica, the entire video is not like this. We are going to eventually hear little snippets of speeches one after another. But for the first little bit, it is like this, unfortunately. All those big smiles, how can they look so happy when they're not making any money? Exactly. It's a great facade. It's a great image. Everyone looks so happy. Everyone looks like they're such good friends. But we know that those friendships are transactional. The moment you leave, all of these people are not going to talk to you. It's a hope high. Yes. I love the way you said that, because they just instill all this hope and faith into you that you go home and there's no way that you can't find success in your business, because you have thousands of people telling you how successful you're going to be if you just stay with it for long enough.
This business is built on dreams and relationships.
It's not built on dreams and relationships. It's built on recruitment and recruitment and recruitment. That's it. And how is this helping us? This business is built on dreams. Okay, that's helpful. How am I going to build my business, ma'am? Niagara Falls welcomes Howard and Associates family. Okay, that's just the name of this video. Howard E. and Associates. So maybe that's a fancy Amway upline, right? Imagine the expenses you incur going to this. It's like being high. It's an addiction. Oh, interesting. Most likely, these are the items that are owned by the way high-up pins they bring to show the cult recruits what they're aspiring to. Some items might be rented, but some Amway diamonds are really rich. love that. So you think like potentially the rich people in Amway just bring their diamonds to show off to the lowly people at the bottom of the pyramid who can't even afford to like pay their rent, let alone get fancy diamonds. And of course, we need to desire fancy diamonds, not just enough money to pay our rent and like take care of our children. The Amway insanity never ends, sure. Oh, they also show off cars, their hotel rooms, etc. Yeah, you have to sell the dream, right? Oh, and Monica, I think this part of the video is going to end soon, and there's going to be more speeches. See, is this the part that I could be like getting copyright written for? Because it is like a famous song, and I don't want this video to get blocked like my Tony Robbins video did. But Gary's right, maybe it was literally just like a Tony Robbins thing, not a me like not knowing copyright. And also, look, this is a conference, this is a work event. Why is it a party? Why are there all these people? Why are we at a concert? I don't understand why we're at a concert. But we know this is a normal, everyday thing for MLM conferences where you get like Katy Perry or Lady Gaga to sing, and then people advertise that. They say, I'm so lucky to be with my company because look, I got to see Katy Perry. It's like, but why is Katy Perry at your work event? Why is your work event turning into a concert? I thought we were here to build our business. Okay. Notice how the majority are white, or am I wrong? Not sure. This is in the United States. If we were to watch like an Amway conference from India or somewhere else in Asia, it would obviously be a lot different. But yeah, you're probably right. There's very little diversity in many MLMs. One diamond showed up the fancy hotel room to my family when I was 10 as a reward for my parents' dedication. They gave us M&Ms for breakfast. My parents looked at them with absolute adoration. Aw, I'm sorry. It's totally fine because they had a band with a minority in it. Oh, true. We're going to get Van Halen in a couple of minutes. I looked it up. Buckle up and jump. Like in this video, Gary. Yeah. So the diamond just showed your parents the hotel room as a reward? Like, did your parents get to stay in the fancy hotel room, or did they just get to look at it? Either way, it's gross because it's kind of dangling the carrot in your parents' face, right? Like if you just work a little bit harder, you too can afford a fancy hotel room like this.
Of what you believe and what you value. All right? It's a reflection of what you believe. What drives your behavior are your beliefs and values. Your behavior is a reflection of what you believe and what you value, which is a reflection of your attitude. You see, your attitude is a reflection of what you believe and what you value. Now, here's a
what you believe is a reflection of your behavior and your value or something like that. That this has nothing to do with our business. And so are you trying to say like we believe that we can't be successful in Amway because our values are all off and we don't think that we can be successful, like we're in the way of our own success? I'm not quite sure what the point of that statement is. While Amway is very white, there are some sections of Amway that are mostly Indian or mostly Latino or mostly Chinese. You will contact whoever is in your community. Excellent point. Mr. Pose. Not going to say how I'm interpreting that.
scary part, but hang on because we got some good stuff coming. Your beliefs and values, your core beliefs and values are developed by the time you're 5 to 8 years old. Powerful. And when you understand what those are, it is powerful. And when you make a decision.
So we just need to understand our core beliefs and values. And because it's so powerful, we will be able to find huge success in Amway. So we're not finding success because we just don't know our core beliefs and values in relation to our Amway business. Is that what you're saying?
To change some of those that are holding you back, oh, it gets scary because success comes screaming at you.
But I'll tell you, you have a system here and you stay plugged into that system and you do whatever it takes to build your self-esteem, your self-confidence, and take this business to heights that you wouldn't believe. It's just as I think over, reflect back on the past, where we came from, where we are today. And we read the books. We're still reading the books as diamonds. Would you believe we still read? We still listen to tapes. We still, of course, attend the big functions. We don't do the smaller functions.
Wow, so Dottie as a diamond, she still reads the books as a diamond. She still attends the bigger functions, but not the smaller ones as a diamond. That's interesting to me because they tell us to turn into our uplines, right? We need to replicate every little piece of behavior of our upline. So she's not going to the small events. So does that mean your downline is not going to the small events? They're not going to the local open meetings. They're not going to support their direct upline when they're showing the plan. But don't you want them to be, as you said, completely bought into the system, which is also the small events? So I feel like she's kind of saying the quiet part out loud there. Like the higher up you get, maybe the less events you have to go to. Interesting. And she's also saying you build your self-esteem, or insinuating that you build your self-esteem and your knowledge in the business by going to these events. However, every speech we've seen on my channel in Amway, you're not actually learning anything. Very few. We've learned things on very small amount of speeches. So how are we supposed to build our knowledge and our self-esteem in the business if we're wasting all of our money to get here and you're not actually teaching us anything? You're not teaching us anything. How is this acceptable to consider a tour in a hotel room a reward for your efforts and a bag of candy? Exactly. Yes, they just showed them the hotel room. We didn't stay in it. We are always rewarded in MLM with time from the upline or opportunity to see fancy things you hope for but will never have. The rewards are never monetary. The rewards are like someone showing you a hotel room, giving your kids some candy, getting shouted out by your upline. What else? Little pieces of merch from Beachbody, but very rarely is it monetary. Even when you rank up in an MLM, chances are it did not actually help you monetarily unless you're at the very, very top of the company. I'm so glad those huge shoulder pads aren't popular anymore, right? The downline will just assume that the high upline is too busy helping too many people succeed, that they don't have time to go to everything. Yeah, because they're also, was it Casey something in the most recent Amway video? He was saying we have to build our legs, because if we don't put people underneath our direct downline within a certain amount of time, they're going to quit. So we have to build all these legs. We have to counsel with all of these people in our downline to make sure that they build their legs too. And I can't imagine where the actual time freedom comes in, because we're just building everyone's legs. We're going to all these conferences, these open meetings, these worldwide tool scam company events. Where is the time freedom? Because all of these high up fancy people are telling us what we have to do, and you wouldn't even have time to go to the bathroom, let alone actually have time freedom. Hello, Julie. It's amazing to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Also, even though people say they love building the business, it's a lie they tell themselves. Everyone is working desperately for the opportunity to be rich enough to stop working or work less. And that's very sad. It's very sad that people are wasting like a whole part of their life when in a system where they are doomed to fail, right? Because sure, your 20s are a time for you to develop as a person and figure out who you want to be. But then your 30s and your 40s and your 50s, those are also unique times in your life too. And it doesn't matter what decade you're, like how old you are, you're missing out on important aspects of your development as a person in the MLM. Does that make sense? It's just sad to me because we're not just wasting money, we're wasting important parts of our life. Okay. Or work. Okay. Oh, yeah. People are working for the opportunity to stop working or work less, which is what this upline is hinting at and what you're promised when you are recruited. You work hard, you believe eventually it will end. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, we're working our ass off, like Monica says, for the chance of getting paid later. Not a guarantee. And yes, Monica, thank you. Switch from top chat to live chat, please.
And that's what you have to do each and every day. Read that 15 minutes a day, listen to a tape a day. Just those simple little things that are going to make you grow and make you into the person that you really want to become.
And
I like who I am. I don't want to change who I am. I shouldn't have to listen to tapes to change my personality to be successful at my job.
Folks, as you go out and build a business, some of your greatest friends are not in the business yet. Some of your greatest friends are going to be downline into your group. You're going to get so close to them, you don't relate with this today. But you see, to get me out of depression, I had to go back with the people. I had to get around the people. I had missed a couple of functions. I had stopped reading the books and I had stopped listening to tapes. But as soon as I got back into the system, got into the atmosphere, you must keep yourself in the atmosphere. Then it creates the attitude. It'll create the altitude for you.
The atmosphere creates the attitude that will create the altitude for you and your business. My gosh, excuse me. And he said he was experiencing depression and he just got back into the atmosphere. He just started to continue to recruit his downline, who turned into his best friends in the business. And then once he was fully enmeshed in the system, then he just got better. He just felt better. He felt a connection to other people again. And his life just changed when he started to go back to the meetings. So you too, if you're experiencing any kind of mental health struggle, just get yourself back into these meetings and everything will be fixed. Also, he's saying you will make some of your best friends in the business. You're going to recruit your best friends into your downline. My question is, are they still going to be your best friends? If they leave, if they're no longer benefiting you financially, are you still going to care about them? Chances are no. She doesn't go to the small functions because she earned it. I hate that. But then you expect everyone else to go to all the functions. Yes, but if your downline leaves, then your paycheck will suffer. You will have to work again to replenish the losses. In reality, you technically can't just stop working. Exactly. If you solely depend on your downline, it won't last. Exactly. That's why it's so unsustainable.
Folks, there's not one person in here in the next 2 years. They can't be so financially set that you don't have to worry about dollars. I didn't say you could be wealthy in 2 years, but you can literally, in the next 2 years, set up through this system a business that is going to be part of your life. And people are going to be part of your life. That's going to give you an income for life if you only listen and become a student.
And they came to me and they said,
if you only listen to the system, you only implement the system, and you become a student, then you too will have a business for life and an income for life. But please note, they don't actually tell you what this income is. People will always say, oh, I help so many people make an income. Oh, so many people in my downline are so successful, but they never actually quantify what that means. Is this success $5 a month? Is it $100 a month? Is it actually a livable wage? What do you mean by success? Because higher ups have multiple downline legs and they're not allowed to work with each other cross-lining. The downlines don't realize how many people actually leave. They can't see it. Wow, that's interesting. It's really because if you stop the stuff for a short time, you might realize you are in a scam. And also, if you're going to 1,000 events, if you are just listening to tapes constantly and always going to meetings, you don't really have a chance to think about what's happening to you. You don't have a chance to analyze information that you're receiving. And so, yeah, maybe they're just trying to keep you as busy as possible so you don't have time to question things.
Where can we get this product? And I said, you have to get it from an Amway distributor. They did not comprehend Amway distributor. So I said to them, well, Amway is a company that owns this vitamin and mineral company, and they manufacture these products.
The volume's okay, right? Can you guys tell me if it's too quiet, please?
And they said, well, if we can get it, how much does it cost in the United States to get it? I said, well, in all of North America, it probably costs about $40 a month, depending. And they said, $40 a month? How come it's so cheap when it's so good? How can you sell it so cheaply? You've got it, you don't use it, you don't promote it, you don't sell it because supposedly it costs too much. They can't get it, they want it, and they think it doesn't cost enough. Go figure.
You need the dream. You need.
So we have the product, but we think it's too expensive. So we're not going to buy more. We're not going to try to sell it. But then the people who are our prospects think it's so cheap, and they're questioning why we're selling it for so cheap. Go figure. Isn't that such an interesting contradiction that we're worried it's too expensive, but that's not a real thought. That's not real. That's a self-limiting belief, because truly it's so cheap because the value of the products and the opportunity is so much higher than what we're selling it for, right? The downline believes that very few people will leave as long as you build solid legs. Because of this, they don't realize that those higher ups have to make money elsewhere, like with the tools. You also don't know how many other legs there are and believe your upline is more successful than they are. Interesting. Love that. That's interesting. Yeah, because you don't know how many people you have in your cross lines, right? Because you guys have told me on these videos before, you're not supposed to talk cross line, just upline. So you don't actually know. Wow. Interesting. Okay, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that.
Need to understand the lifestyle. You need to have the glory to shoot for, and yet you have to be realistic to understand the process and the fact that you're gonna go through stuff. So sometimes lately we felt like we've needed to share even that just because we're where we're at doesn't mean that we haven't gone through some stuff. So that gives you hope, because you're not going to know. Sometimes all you see is the obstacle. Timmy talks about that a lot of times. You don't always see on the other side. And sometimes the obstacle looks so big you can't see the other side. And I remember as we were building it way back when, I said to Dexter one time, my dream was so small. We lived in an apartment, drove a little car. I mean, we had 2 little Volkswagens.
Of course, she's name dropping Dexter Yeager, that her dream was just so small because she's so relatable. She's so high up that she talks directly to Dexter, but she too also went through turmoil in her business because it's so normal for a business owner to have ups and downs and not make profit, which is true. But unlike actual like small business ownership or having a franchise, the Amway business is set up for you to lose money. Owning a small business is not inherently unethical. It is not designed for you to go into debt. Amway higher ups rarely, if ever, go coach because they have such great income from the tool scam. Other MLMs don't really have a strong tool business, which is why coaching becomes a draw. Interesting. Love that. Some Amway people do break away and start their own MLM or other type of cult, like the NXIVM leader. Ooh, that's so interesting. Who is that? Do you? The NXIVM leader, is that Keith Raniere? Was he in Amway too? The tool scam is pretty much the best way to really make the money, a scam within a scam. Isn't that fascinating?
Wives when I got married, and I couldn't have, in my wildest dreams ever, have seen what we are today. I know Tim didn't see what we have today, but he did dream bigger than me. And I said to Dexter, I'm afraid that I'll hold him back because I don't dream big enough. And he said, honey, you back the man and you'll live in his dreams.
But you're going to have to be willing to pay a price. You have to be.
Honey, you back the man and you live in his dreams, apparently Dexter said to that woman. So yeah, as women in Amway, we back the man. We do what we need to do to help him achieve his dream and live in his shadow. I think it's wonderful to want to support your spouse, to work with them, to help them achieve their dream. That's great. That's great. But I don't like that it seems like in Amway for the wives, your role automatically is to not question things, to be a supportive figure, to help the man rank up. But what if you're losing money? What if you never see your husband anymore? What if the kids are upset because they never see their father? Are you supposed to just blindly support them? Or are you supposed to be a good spouse and want what's best for them and ask them questions? Probably just blindly support them.
Be willing to make some decisions in your life. You're going to have to be willing to expect there's going to be some challenges you're going to have to overcome and a price you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to learn to set some priorities. You're going to have to learn to make this business a priority somewhere in your life so your business can become what you want it to. It's not going to come by accident. It's going to come by design because you're willing to get out there and put the time and effort to make something happen in your life. And I really believe it. The only way your life is ever going to become as fulfilled as you want it to be is by learning to give it your best.
I have it at normal speed. I was like, did I put it at 1.5 by accident? I wonder if they talk really fast on purpose so you don't actually understand what they're saying and you just think it sounds really profound, but you don't actually know what was said, right? What else are we supposed to do with our tiny girl brains instead of just support our husband blindly, not ask questions, and just live in his dream, and then life will be amazing.
Best every day. If you're going to have a great marriage, you got to learn to give it your best. If you're going to be a great father, you got to learn to give it your best. And you'll never know how good you can become. You never know how far you can go and how much more you can do. I had one of my best friends years ago that came in and spoke for us. He told me one time, he says, Tim, a simple thing in philosophy in life. You want more, get better. Learn to get involved in the system. Learn to be involved in every way you can. And I promise, by giving it your best, your life will change so quick and fast in front of your eyes. Oh, you're going to stumble along the way. You're going to make mistakes. But don't be afraid of the mistakes. That's part of the learning process. But this is one business you don't have to bat 1,000. You don't have to bat 300 to make a fortune. You can make a lot of mistakes and stumble along the way and still ultimately end up very rich and very successful. This business is the most forgiving business you'll ever find anywhere in the world.
This business is the most forgiving business you can find anywhere in the world. You don't have to work really hard to make $300. You can still make mistakes and make a fortune. No, that's not true. Again, we're just trying to be relatable. We are a fancy, probably diamond up on stage. We know that the vast majority of the people in our downline are suffering financially, but we need to sell the dream. We need to seem relatable so they can see themselves in us, in our story. So we say, oh, we've made a lot of mistakes, but look at us. We're still fancy. We're still rich. I get so frustrated when MLM people compare MLM to marriage, MLM to parenthood, because yes, being married can be hard, right? Being a parent is the hardest job in the world. You're going to make mistakes with your spouse and with your kids. You are going to do things you regret. You're going to say things you didn't mean to say, but that doesn't mean you just throw in the towel. You have to work on your marriage. You have to work on being the best parent you can be. Yes, that's true, but I hate the comparison because most people are going to say, yes, of course, I'm not going to quit being a parent just because I made a mistake. I'm going to learn from it and improve. And they're going to apply that same thinking to their Amway business, even though they're not going to improve, even though they're in a failing system, even though they're a part of a scam. They're going to use that same thinking and apply it to the Amway business, and they're just going to stay in it for longer. And it makes me sad. Dude, relax. It's just soap. Yes. I mean, he's not wrong. You will most likely fail even if you do everything right. Even if you go to all the freaking conferences, you never see your kids, you prospect constantly, you show the plan 5 to 6 nights a week, you're still going to fail. I'm sorry, and it's not our fault. It's not just soap, it's the pathway to freedom. We saw a very pregnant couple there, right? The woman looked like she could have been like 7, 8 months pregnant. It's sad to see people who are about to be parents or have another baby mesh within these MLMs because they were probably sold the dream by, don't you want to provide financial stability for your new baby? Don't you want to be present parents? Don't you want to be a stay-at-home parent so you don't need to take them to daycare? Don't you want to take them on big fancy vacations? And I feel like that's a really easy way to pull in young, new, or soon-to-be parents of multiple kids into these companies because, of course, every good parent wants their kid to live in a stable financial environment and have the things that they need and want. But the sad part is if you join Amway and you have children, chances are it's going to be the exact opposite. And it's really sad and it makes me upset. Every one of these people felt like they needed to do something more in their lives and thought Amway was the answer. Exactly. Everyone in this video is missing something, whether it be connection, whether it be finances. They're worried about providing for their kids. They're worried about debt. They feel like maybe they have mental health issues like the other man described, and they just feel like being around lots of people will improve it. It's very sad. They think Amway's the answer, but it's going to make it worse. They play this music to hype you up. And that's when you are vulnerable to this brainwashing BS. Exactly. I was looking for a reason. We're going to just close that. We don't need to hear this because I don't want to get my ass copyrighted. But I don't even know if this is an actual song. Okay.
Principles that I have learned that are very, very powerful. They are simple, but they are powerful. And you got to keep them simple because one of the things that I've learned is that life is simple until you throw people into it.
Why are we yelling? And again, we're talking so fast. This is normal playback. I did not speed this up. He is not saying anything. He's saying, keep it simple. Life can be simple. In Amway, it's not simple. Any MLM is not simple. Comp plans are incredibly complex. It is very hard to understand how you rank up. Most people who join these companies don't actually know how they're getting paid until they are in. MLMs are not simple, sir. And what are you wearing? Attitude. Something. The experience.
Now, I have a philosophy about highly negative people or big old dat people. I used to say, walk away from them. I have changed my mind. Do not walk away from a highly negative person. Run from them!
You have to become the best.
Don't walk away from a highly negative person. Run from them. Is this negative person just someone being like, yo, you're losing a lot of money in Amway. Yo, I'm worried about you. Or your spouse saying, hey, I love you. I never see you. You seem incredibly anxious. I'm worried. Right? So we're just running from the negative people. What did Dexter used to say? The negative dream stealers? Was that Dexter's line? We haven't done a Dexter video in a while. Why can't we have opposing viewpoints? I think if our job was so good, we should be able to support our decision to be in our job. We should be able to talk about the positive, well-meaning aspects of our job and not run from criticism. We should be able to have a level-headed conversation about it. The MLM, the men tend to get really riled up and the women tend to be more calm. Interesting. Good observation for sure.
self-user and the best promoter of the system. Now, not only promoting the products, but also promoting your books and the tapes and the functions. You have to get excited, ladies, about all of this. All the books, tapes, just like your husband. You have to get excited about that. And I would certainly encourage all of you to attend as many meetings as you can with your husbands. I know that you have sometimes a challenge with your children, but that's all right. You can work it out so that you can attend at least a few meetings a week with him. You are his greatest asset, and in the living room, definitely you're his greatest asset. And he needs you there as his encourager and his cheerleader. The best thing you can do for your man is you be there and be his cheerleader. Focus on his strengths and not his weaknesses. Tell him that he's doing a great job. Just give him the love that he needs as he's building the business.
And I said, we're going diamond. When you make that,
we have to go to meetings, a couple meetings a week with our husband, and we figure out the childcare. But what if we joined Amway because we are in some kind of financial trouble and we don't have the money, we don't have the financial resources to pay for childcare? My question is, can we bring our children to these meetings? What if we have babies or toddlers and they can't sit still for like 5 hours at a time, right? What if we can't just bring our little kids to the meetings? We have to pay for childcare. What if we don't have the money? Oh, just put it on a credit card so we can just get to the conference, get to the meeting. And yeah, this is making me sicker. Stand by your man. I hate that so much. I hate the idea that it's our job as women to just blindly support our spouse, because that's not the case. We should be autonomous people who can determine what we want our role to be in our spouse's business. Say we're okay with them being in Amway, but we don't want to go to all the meetings. We don't want to be involved in the business. We should not be shamed. We should not be told what we have to do because it's our own business. It's our husband's business. So him and I can determine what my role is. It's not my job to blindly follow my spouse. Keep in mind that the downline is probably really tired, especially if it's one of those night owl meetings or if it's well into the weekend. Exactly. Be his cheerleader in 1995, right? Gary, doesn't that sound like more 1960s? 1950s, 1960s? This point, women were doing all kinds of things. All kinds of things. We weren't like the 1950s traditional housewife at that time. You can bring them, or you can pile the little ones, oh yes, onto a slightly older child and pay them next to nothing because that is your child's contribution to the family business. Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry.
that kind of a decision, you're going to build this business. And folks, during those years, when we were building a business, I did buy 3 other businesses. Don't give me an excuse of time. Because once you really understand the business, you got time. All the other businesses were successful. I just learned to delegate instead of control, because the business taught me that. Instead of spending all my money, I learned to multiply money. Instead of giving an excuse not to give my wife time, I could still be a very busy man and give her time. And do all through the books and the tapes and the functions. Whatever you do, folks, it's functions, 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 and functions. Folks, learn something very important in the business. Number one, your upline's not perfect. Sorry. Sorry about that, Greg. We're not. But they know the business, folks.
Dreams for me are the energy, the reason, what's going to keep you going night after night after night, showing this business, getting negative reactions, getting no's. People may be laughing at you, but if you know where you're going, if you know what you want, that's not going to matter. Those are just little sacrifices that you're going to have to make to reach the big picture, the rewards. So I thought
I don't think the sacrifices you have to make to be successful in Amway are little. And I don't think your sacrifices are worth the minimal amount of money you may or may not make if you are one of the few people who are successful. And we really have to live in an echo chamber in order to be successful in Amway. Because I feel like even in 1995, it was probably well known that Amway was not a great company to be in. It's probably the FTC, the lawsuits were probably quite commonly known, and it was probably really, really hard to recruit people into Amway even in the 90s. And it's really, really hard even now. It's even harder now. And those aren't just little things you have to overcome. If our livelihood is based off of people joining our downline, of course it's going to bother us when people continually tell us no over and over and over again. I am starting to struggle a little bit to provide reasonable commentary. I think I might need to be done. We'll see. I'll give myself a little bit more of a chance, and then we might need to do part 2 later. If that's okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, they're really pushing the tools. The other guy said you have to go to all the functions in order to be successful. And then she's saying you have to fully understand the dream. And we go to the functions to buy into the dream, right? And so you have to go to the functions or else you're not fully engaged in your Amway business. Your outline's not perfect, but if you ever comment on it, you'll be penalized for not edifying them. Oof. Oof. I know a Christian couple and the wife was criticized by her church elders because she didn't walk 6 paces behind her husband in the late 90s. This is like that. Oof. I hate that. Hello, Neil. Hi, how's it going? I'm starting to get tired. I was sick today. I'm going to let it play for a few minutes, take a little bit of a break with the commentary, and then see if I can finish. I would love to finish, but I may need to cut it a little bit early. Oh, thank you, PH Actress. I appreciate that. Thank you, Gary. Maybe I'm not going to stop between every little snippet, and I'll try to let it play a bit longer. That might be easier.
D should stand for desire. And I think a lot of you have heard that before. You need to make this business part of you. It's not a job. It's not something that you open up at 8 o'clock in the morning and close at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a lifestyle. It's part of us. You have to develop a passion so big that you're going to do this no matter what. That if you don't go out there and do something more for your business, you'll feel bad. That's the desire that you need to develop.
The system is the guarantee that we all in this room have, that if it's anybody who started us or in our line of sponsorship doesn't know what to do, you can still do it because you're drinking from the main source. You were there. If you make the decision to run, you don't have to wait for anybody, and then you will just look upline to whoever is running as fast as you are, and you can just get the information, make the relationships. That system is the guarantee that you will not hear a diluted information. Because I know you don't do this, but I used to do this. When I started somebody, I told them what I was going to do, what I liked about something, but I deleted everything that I didn't like, so they were not getting 100% of the information. And a lot of us do that. So if you plug into the system, that's your benefit. If you go, you got to love the open meetings, the seminars. You got to love this weekends, and I can explain you why we all do this, but we don't. You know, this is. You will go out of this with so much emotional strength, and you will start building your roots. That the reason we do this weekends is for you to believe that you can do it.
Fabuloso. If you watch Danielle Ryan, she says there is no cookie cutter business training. There's no guarantee of anything that your system, your business training system of some random coach somewhere will help you become a multimillionaire. He just said, yeah, guarantee. All you have to do is follow the system, look upline, do what they tell you to do, and you too will find success. There's no such thing, like Danielle Ryan says, as a copy and pasted business solution. Just because Bill Britt did the 953 BIB bullshit doesn't mean it's going to help you, because majority of the 953 bullshit is useless mindset garbage that is not actually teaching us how to build a business. And the board in bedroom, they just want you to have a board in the bedroom so you look at your organizational chart before you go to bed. How is that going to help you? All that's going to do is make you see the freaking board in your mind when you're trying to sleep.
So,
Unbelievable! Woo!
phenomenal. Fire it up.
Like PH Actress said, a lot of the times fancy Amway uplines will bring their diamonds for people to look at, or even like loan them out maybe, or people can rent it. So we saw a couple women there with beautiful diamond necklaces. Do we think that that's their actual diamond necklace, or do you think they just rented it for the evening? They probably just rented it for the evening. These montages are incredibly cringy. I completely agree with you. PH Actress, if MLM is fraud is still here, there's a man back there that had a big red ribbon on his chest. Do we know what the big red ribbon is for? Is that a useless piece of recognition from Amway? Like, did he rank up? What does that mean? It's cookie cutter. Yep. Here's what these people want. Now here's the people that want it. Yep. Yeah, cookie cutter business advice doesn't work, because everyone is going to apply the business advice slightly differently. Everyone has different personalities, different skill sets, and it's impossible that just because my business advice worked for me, that is going to work for the 12 people watching me now. No, because we're all different. I feel like that would be another copyrighted song. And okay, let's go to here. Okay. I heard the phrase fired up so much in my childhood. Yeah, and why are we yelling statements at people? Why is just yelling fired up? How is that going to help us with our business? It's not. I would not be surprised if they rent the jewelry. I used to live 40 miles from Niagara Falls. I thought I saw people I used to know. You think you saw people in this video that you used to know? Wow, Gary, that's interesting. Did you see anything wrong with it growing up, or not until you were out? So I don't think PH Actress, I don't think you were ever in Amway, were you? Don't answer if you are uncomfortable with that. But I feel like you said your parents are in Amway, right? Don't answer if you don't want to. I don't know what the ribbon is for. I know that people are given awards at conferences, but I don't remember what they actually look like. Okay. If anyone is watching the replay and you happen to know what the ribbons mean, let us know in the comments, please.
Johnny Laura Carroll!
Woo! Ah. Stop it.
Yvonne and Danielle Fitzer!
Stop it. I know I don't need to worry about this, but I don't want my video blocked. I'd be so sad.
Newfoundland, Sammy and Clemmy King! Woo!
And this is probably one of the big fancy awards that they get. Let me just pause. Like, this is one of the awards they get. They get called up on stage in a beautiful, lovely dress, and everyone's cheering for them. But that's not helping them financially. That's not going to help them. They're still in debt. They're still losing money, but they just get to walk up on stage and have people cheer.
Distributors from Canada, Claude and Mago Chemical.
Like, why is this happening? What is this doing for our business? This is not helping us build our business.
Patsy, I know exactly the way you feel. I felt this.
Oh, friends, did you see what was, see this? See this? It's Frasier with his dad. How it all started. I noticed it today. I'm going to listen to it and maybe we'll react to it in a video. I would also be embarrassed, Lori. My parents have been in since before I can remember, so I was raised in it. I was fully brainwashed as a child, even though I had questions and some things didn't make sense. I have read most. I assume you're going to continue that comment. False excitement, brainwashing, culty religious manipulation. And then people are going to think, oh, I want to get called out on stage too. I just have to work harder. I just have to work harder. Then I can achieve that too. Do you think people go into debt to buy these beautiful dresses too? Or is that also a rental? And I'm glad that you, even though you were just a kid, you still had questions, that you were questioning what you were seeing. That's really good because we know kids don't have fully developed brains yet, and they may not understand why something feels off to them. So I'm glad you asked questions, but I'm sorry you were raised in Amway. That's sad, but I'm glad you're here.
Same way. I didn't want to build this business. But you know what? You and I are both married to go-getters, and they're going to do this business with us or without us. So I think it's better if they build it with us. So all you have to do is be yourself. You don't have to be Bertie Yeager or Susan Gooch or even Connie Foley. You only have to be Patsy Lizardi and plug into the system. Your fear is lack of information, and just take it one day at a time. Listen to the tapes, read the books, go to the open meetings and the seminars and these functions, and little by little, you'll start changing. And that's exactly what I did. I just felt so good that I had had the opportunity to finally speak with my upline. I gave her a chance to get closer to me.
You know,
she said we don't have to be Connie Foley, we don't have to be Bertie Yeager, we are ourselves. But then she said just now, the more we listen to the tapes, we go to the functions, we are going to start changing. So do you want us to change to replicate our outline? Sorry, I'm just knocking over my husband's stuff. Do you want us to change and replicate our upline, or do you want us to be who we are? If you've been on my channel for a bit, you would know in all of the Amway videos, they always tell you to change everything. You have to change everything about who you are to replicate everything your upline does, and then you can be successful. And so if you do exactly what your upline says, they can come back at you and say, well, you don't present yourself the way Rocky Cummington used to, so that's why you're not successful. You need to become your upline. I've read most of the books and listened to more tapes than I can count. As a kid, I truly believed it. I didn't wake up until a few years ago when I saw a post describing an Amway orphan and realized it was me. Aw, that makes me sad. I'm really sorry to hear that, but I'm so glad that you are here. I'm so glad you come to many of my streams, and I'm especially grateful when you're at the Amway ones because I can react to what I'm seeing, but I was never in it. And so I really appreciate you educating everyone else here with your stories, and I really appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Okay, I think the ribbons were first-time attendees. Thank you, MB. I really appreciate it, and welcome to the stream. I don't think I've seen you here before. I'm sorry I went through that. It says a lot that you had questions even then, but it was brainwashed out of you. Aw. Yeah, agreed. My biggest question as a child was, how could having a job be for losers when the people who make the Amway products have jobs? Doctor is a job, lawyer, chef. Are they all bad? Why? Smart. You were a smart kid. Love that question. That's a brilliant question. I've never even thought of that question, and I'm an adult. Love that. That's a really good question because our world, our societies are based off of people working 9-to-5 jobs. If we don't have construction workers, we don't have roads. If we don't have architects, we don't have buildings. Amway would not have the corporate office. Brilliant point. Yay! I'm glad you love them, and I love having you here.
You know who was the most important person who got sponsored? Me. From that day on, I have never stopped. Night after night, over and over, showing the plan. You know, we know what you will be going through. We know about the stories and the bankruptcy and X and Y and Z. You will have to pay your price to get to where you want to be. I don't care what it is. If you are alive, God gave you the blessing for one more day to make a difference. So use it. Don't spoil your day. Don't just throw it out the window. Make it count. Make it something worthwhile. So we show the plan. A lot of people told us no, but who cares?
When you're
He brought up bankruptcy. Did you just say we have to go through bankruptcy so Amway could bankrupt us? Is that the quiet part out loud, sir? You're telling us to make every moment count, but we are wasting our time sitting in this Amway conference. If we happen to bring our children are either sitting with us bored out of their minds, or they're off with a kid slightly older than them, wondering what to do, missing their parents. I would rather be spending time with my kids, making memories with them, than sitting in this useless conference, not actually learning anything. Yes, that's what I heard. That's literally what I heard. Lean in, make a difference, sell the crap. Right, Gary? I have my eye drops in my hand. I already took them, but I'm just flinging it around because I'm getting annoyed. Now we're talking about a ventriloquist thingamajigger. Is it ventriloquist where you talk but you don't move your mouth? Is that what this is?
crying, you'll bring on the rain, so stop your sighing.
I don't know if this is a... I don't know if this would be a copyrighted thing. The people talking on stage almost look like they're on the verge of a heart attack. And wasting all of our evening showing the plan. Yeah. We have to go to every event, every meeting, so we can build the dream. We have to waste all our time showing the plan. We have to put our relationships at risk. We have to put our children at risk because they're not going to see us. We're not going to be present. We're not going to be able to raise them. We're going to be even less present than we could have been if we were just at an average 9-to-5 job, because at least from 6 until 9, we are actually with our kids, spending time, making memories. But no, after a 9-to-5, we are at events like this. We're missing out on time with our kids.
And let me give you some direction, Jimmy. Drop to one knee. Think of Elvis here. That's it. Drop the towels. Both hands in the air. Here we go. Oh, when you're smiling. I say, when you're smiling. Oh, yeah. Oh, world, smile with Oh, yeah.
I hope you know that we're...
Why is this at a business event? Why did we just see that? The ribbon would be from the line of sponsor, not Amway. So the uplines would get the ribbons made for their first-time attendees, right? Is that what you mean? I don't know if I could be brainwashed enough to sit through that performance. Right? Right? Mm-mm.
Where you are, the person sitting in your seat can do this business. And it's the right thing to do, and you deserve the success. See, I couldn't have believed...
Right, Neil? Right, Neil?
all the things that you saw on that video. There's so many things, and we don't have very long, and I don't want to take any of Carol's time, but we have a 12,000 square foot home now. You saw it up there. And when we got started, we were about to lose the house that we were in. I mean, they literally were talking, the bank was talking about foreclosing on our house. We can drive now when we didn't have any cars. In fact, our oldest daughter had managed to buy a 1975 Vega with her McDonald's salary. And
why are you talking down on her McDonald's salary? She bought herself a car. That's amazing. Just be proud of her.
And let her mom and dad use it, which was very nice of her. but right now we can drive a Mercedes, a BMW. We've got a go-to-town truck, as Carol says, or a farm truck. We've got 2 or 3 boats. We've got 2 wave runners. We have an airplane. Our mode of transportation is different than it used to be. But
And she's really selling the dream. She's in a beautiful sparkly dress with beautiful jewelry. She's not talking about everyday financial goals. She's not saying we are now financially stable. Our child's education is paid for. We have a really good retirement fund. We are financially stable and well off. No. Diamonds, awesome cars, boats, fancy vacations, that's what sells. Right? And I don't think this is what MB was referring to, but those kinds of fancy, big material items does prey on people who are desperate to get out of their situation to become more financially stable, because people want to just get out of like their financial trouble. People just want to move past the time in their life when they are living paycheck to paycheck, when they're worried about how they're going to feed their kids, and the contrast of worrying about how you're going to feed your kids to a beautiful dress and a fancy boat, that's appealing. So I can understand how this would appeal to someone who's financially unstable. Yes, exactly. Because she actually got paid for when she worked. Exactly. But did you save the house or spend it starting this instead, right? The checklist of cars and boats is tacky as crap. Agreed. Agreed.
all because we drew circles, we got in the business, we got excited, and we became changeable.
What counts is what do you want? That's what you got to determine.
We became changeable. Why do we need to be changeable to be successful at work? I said this before. I have to be more professional. I have to be more professional at work than I'd like to be. I have to put effort into my appearance, wear nicer clothes, but I am not completely changing the very essence of who I am, of my personality, of how I see the world to be successful. I just happened to catch this and glad to see it was not a Florence gathering is one of the biggest secrets I kept from people. It's so cringy now. Oh, you just happened to catch the stream? Is that what you mean? So a Florence gathering, was that, I feel like you mentioned that. Did you mention that earlier? Did someone else talk about the Florence gathering? What do you mean? Tell us what you mean. Is that another Amway upline? Okay, let's keep going.
It's not what we did. I've done it all. I've spent the night sleeping in cars. I've done it all. But it's what are you willing to do, guys? What's your future? What's your financial freedom worth to you? It's not what you've done in the past. It doesn't count. It's right now 21 minutes after 12 by my clock. At 20 minutes after 12, everything beyond that was history. Nothing we can do about that. All we've got is what goes from here. And if you've been in this thing forever, since Hector was a pup, he's an old dog now, or you've been in here since the earth began to cool, I don't know what your situation is. It doesn't matter. The new day starts, your new business starts Monday. That's when you start. It doesn't matter what you've done in the past. It's what are you willing to do in the future. It's not where you've been. It's where you're going. It's not what you know. It's what are you willing to learn. It's not who you are. It's who you want to be. I am not today who I was. I hope I'm not who I'm going to be. Old gospel song. I used to be a frustrated gospel musician, but old gospel song that he's still working on me. Well, that's true. God's still working on me along with me. I'm still reading and listening and doing all that sort of stuff. And so I'm not who I was. I'm not who I'm going to be.
Okay, I wanted to let him finish, but MB said new sub. Yay, thank you. No, but oh my God, if y'all want to see pics, I think I have some, because PH Actress said, did you attend this function? Oh, cool. So I have my little ring light. Let me move it down so I can see what I'm typing. MB, if you want to, no pressure. I have a YouTube email, heatherc.youtube@yahoo.com. If you want to, no pressure, you can send me your pictures here. That would be awesome. He's talking about how like from 20 minutes ago past 20 minutes ago, what happened in your business doesn't matter. You have to move on. You have to live in the present. And yes, I agree with that. We can't just focus on a negative thing that happened to us last week and let it ruin our day, ruin our week. We can't focus on someone who was mean to us 2 months ago, because if we're always living in the past, we're never going to be happy. We're never going to feel fulfilled. But we need to, in MLM, we need to analyze what's happening to us to determine whether or not we are in a positive environment. And him telling us to just forget things that happened after 20 years ago does not, what happened 20 minutes ago is a really toxic thing. Like, oh, forget the fact that you lost $50,000 in your Amway business last year. Forget the fact that you missed your child's high school graduation. You missed your mom's birthday. Forget that, because it happened earlier than 20 minutes ago. Just focus on the present. And that's really toxic, because we need to focus on everything. We need to fully understand the situation we're in to make a well-informed decision to exit the toxic environment. Like, how did something I think was ludicrous come to make sense? And yes, Heather, I tried on all of Peggy's diamonds. You did? Did you meet Peggy? Did you meet her? Oh, if you did, that's very cool. But not cool. Cool because I've watched Peggy a lot on my channel. And if you met her, that would be exciting a little bit. Is that a weird thing to say?
But the question is, who do you want to be? You're going to have to decide that. And then the question that matters, I already mentioned, is how big is your dream?
And you chose to be here this weekend because you know that you can have a better future. That if you believe and you stay committed to the system, and you believe in your leadership, and you just hang in there and you keep getting up one more time, then truly it can work for you. We know that. Greg and I are a classic example of two people who got involved in this business and just decided to hang on, and we didn't quit. And the reason that we're successful today is because we hung on to the system, and we hung around people like Tim and Sherry Bryan and all the fabulous diamonds and all your leadership that you're going to see here in a moment. But you know, it's important to make a decision for you this weekend. And we say that all the time. And there will come that point when you have to really face the mirror and say to yourself, why not us? Why not? You've got what it takes. Why not us? Why not now?
But you can have fun with this thing too.
There's always congratulating people for something that doesn't actually give them any financial success. Congratulations for coming. You came here. Congratulations for showing up for your business, even though you're not making any money. Congratulations for sticking it out. You're congratulated for things that don't actually help you financially, so you become really reliant on the positive reinforcement, the compliments that you're receiving, and so you stay in longer. And then I feel like the positive reinforcement can also be seen as a part of like your awards that you get from Amway, even though it's not, because you can't pay your bills and feed your children through positive reinforcement. She's saying all you have to do is just stick it out, just keep following the system, and then you too can find success. We've already said this. Success cannot be cookie cutter. Business advice cannot be copy and pasted like Daniel Ryan tells us. It's not how it works. And so, no, if you just keep pushing, that doesn't mean you're going to become a diamond in Amway. And if you happen to become a diamond and you actually hold the requirements, you're probably going to fall out of it. You're going to lose your rank, and then you're going to be really upset.
Too. I have fun with it. I have a ball in life, you know. And Mona Winnes a short time ago, she looked at me. She said, "Geez, Greg, you look so conservative tonight." You know. She thought I had a black tux, but it's a tartan. It's a blue and it's green. This jacket, bought it over in Harrods in London. You know, and it's kind of funny. Saved a lot of money. I think I saved like $400 on this jacket. Of course, it cost $1,500 to get there. You know, and it was kind of neat.
Bye, Lori. Thank you for hanging out. I really appreciate it.
And it was kind of nice to go there, and I wanted a special shirt, and they didn't have one right there. I says, well, can you send me to a place? So they sent me to a place in Piccadilly Square, and this place to make shirts. So we picked out the material, and they made a shirt for me, and it was kind of neat. Now, I'll just kind of show you that quick. It's a nice little shirt. It's a typical shirt that you'd wear with a tux, you know.
It's nothing special, but it's made for me, and it's kind of neat. It's silk. This type of thing you'd like to wear on your last day at work. I don't know about you, but can you imagine wearing something like this in and they call you crazy and you just smile? Definitely am. And you have.
So you would wear a shirt like this on your last day of work. And it's a silly shirt. I kind of like it though. Kind of works on him. I think he looks good. But he's saying it's kind of shirt you would wear on your last day of work. You're gonna walk in, you're gonna quit. They're gonna all call you they're gonna call you crazy for quitting, but at least you look really good. And then you're gonna quit your you're not gonna get your stable income anymore, potentially benefits, retirement savings, right? You're not gonna get that. You're gonna walk out, focus on your Amway business, and you're gonna have a fancy ass shirt. Wait, what is the point? Yeah, none of this has anything to do with the business. We're not learning anything. We're just like we're just trying to aspire to something. We just want to aspire to something.
Have choices, and that's the name of the game. We love you. Thank you.
And I wonder, do you guys think that people would just aspire to be those couple people up on the stage who are in their beautiful dresses, who look amazing, and who are like have the attention of their fancy uplines? I wonder, what do you think? Because I wonder how many people are there versus how many people are up on the stage. And I wonder, are all of these people diamond? Are all of these people actually making any money? Are they actually making money? Probably not. Was that Van Halen? How did you know, Gary? How did you know? That's funny. They spent hours just talking about how much luxury stuff they have. Just imagine hearing this and then hearing the same man give a church sermon the next day. Mm-hmm. Come on, Amway, don't ruin that song for me, right? Okay, oh, yeah. So people would brag about luxury goods and then give a church sermon. And then Jolene said, that's disturbing, and that would really mess with your head. Okay. Yes, I agree completely. Oops, I pressed a weird button. If people don't have these kinds of dreams initially, they tell them their dreams are not big enough. Yeah, like an earlier lady said, like, I just had small dreams. I just had a small dream. I couldn't believe how small my dreams were. But why is that bad? Why can't we just want a decent car that gets us from point A to B that's reliable and safe? Why can't we want to have some extra money left over so we can afford to put our kids in the fun activities that they like? Why does it have to be big, extravagant, outrageous dreams? We know why. We know why, because that's what sells. You look at Dexter Yeager with his 14 mansions, and you want to replicate that. And now I don't like my camera angle because I feel like it's like cutting off my face too much. I changed it earlier and now I don't like it. Gary said I'm old. Are you? My old boss was in a band with the brothers when they were Mammoth. Ooh, that's interesting. If they're emeralds and above, they're definitely making money. If they're ruby, sapphire, and below, they're faking it. But they may not even realize. Ma'am, feeling yourself should be done in the privacy of your own home. Right? So, thank you for hanging out with me. This was a long one for me. Sorry if my commentary started to not be brilliant. I was getting really tired there like half an hour ago, but then I stopped pausing it every 5 seconds, and I think that helped. I gave myself a bit more rest, which was nice. I didn't force myself to talk constantly. I hope you guys liked the video. I really enjoy these Amway streams, and I'm really happy I had so many people watching me. This was awesome. I really appreciate it, especially Neil and Paige Actress and MB who were in Amway, who are able to educate the people in the chat about what it is actually like. I can't speak within Amway, right? What is you know what I mean? The people who've been in Amway can help us learn about it. I can't speak. I did great as always. Thank you. Way to hang in, Heather. Thank you, Gary. If you think playing Van Halen at conferences is bad, you should see Amway barbecues I went to as a kid. 80s music tarnished. Oh my goodness. I enjoy the perspectives. Awesome. That's good. I'm glad you liked it. Interesting as always. Thank you. I appreciate that. So I'll see you guys on Friday. I have a good stream. It's related to the bootstrapping your MLM video that we watched a little while ago with our friend Richard Sletcher. It's a super interesting topic. Really excited. So if you guys are free on Friday, I would love to hang out, and you can catch the replay if you're not able to. Watch it live. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I hope you have a great evening, and I'll see you on Friday. Bye.